been a while. My head's been cleared a bit. I've steamed off. So, for once, I'm not gonna be talking about my story alone anymore. Well, not just. As that still continues to develop in a sense, but it's not so. Not so important at the moment. Obviously, again, my reasons to go live is to show that content is not edited, it's authentic, and I speak my mind. I'm not sure whether the signal's gonna be good though. Like, I have usually quite some problems around here with the mobile signal, so if the quality is dropping, I apologize in advance. Or if the stream drops, I also apologize in advance. What's going on with the world as of recent is quite shocking, disgusting even to see. The death of Charlie Kirk. We can all have people that we don't agree with in our lives. We have different views, different beliefs, different lifestyles. But to literally assassinate someone based on their ideas, based on their beliefs, in front of public, in front of their family, and then worse, it's not the people pulling the trigger. What I find really messed up, fucked up, is people celebrating it. People celebrating the death of someone who was just brave enough to speak up their mind in public. Like, literally, what the fuck is going wrong with these people? All of the hate, the identity politics, which does include even religious identification, people that are generally radicalized. And it does not matter really what on earth you really believe in, whether it's you're a Muslim, you're a Christian, a pink dinosaur if you wanna wake up like that, you identify as a cat, or you identify as binary, non-binary, whatever the hell is going on, it doesn't really do any justice to anyone if hate, violence, polarization, and bigotry is all we can actually achieve as a humanity. Comparing Charlie Kirk to a Hitler is pure and utter insanity. The reactions that I see from people about this, it's like, obviously it's gonna go wrong, and it is going wrong. Just yesterday there were demonstrations in Den Haag, in Netherlands, and it turned ugly, of course. Now people are blaming hooligans. I'm not gonna point fingers at anyone. What I can see is the clear intention to always discredit, point fingers, and call people far right because they got fed up. And from what I can see, and I'm personally, I've always considered myself as a leftist or a liberal or whatever you want to call it, definitely an anti-fascist. And as such, like, why anti-fascist? My grandpa was in partisans in the Second World War fighting the Nazis. So our history, the Yugoslavian history, the Slovenians and all this, our history does actually go into proper anti-fascism because we had to fight the Nazis. So our people had to fight for freedom. And then later we had a system that was not really freedom of speech, the socialist. It wasn't bad. People had good lives, I must say. There's a lot of nostalgia about that system. But they weren't free. They weren't completely free to speak. There were dissidents and they were imprisoned for the political views. So we had problems. And now when we finally have freedom, maybe a bit too much of it, in a sense of people really not realizing that there is no justification for hate and violence in any kind of sense. Even when it comes to immigration politics. Now, obviously there is a big problem with such massive immigration everywhere. Why is it a problem? Because clearly there's no checks and validations on what kind of people are coming in. And here I have to agree with people who are more on the conservative side, or nationalists, or whatever you want to say, patriots. Yeah? You can't just let everyone and anyone at your doorstep. Some people have massive trouble with integrating in any kind of society, not just ours, but even their own. If you look at a lot of radicalized Muslims, Islamists, whatever, they can't even get along with each other because of different perspectives on their own religion. What else with other religions and with other cultures and other people? What triggered this demonstration in Netherlands, probably most of the media does not want to talk about, was actually a death of a teenager a few weeks ago. It was a girl killed by an illegal immigrant. She tried to call the police when he was following her, but they unfortunately could not get there on time. And the problems here being, also as I discussed this, I didn't even want to discuss it with anyone because I obviously saw exactly what kind of consequences this is going to bring. And we can see them now in what happened yesterday in Den Haag. And at this point, when you look at what happened, of course, it was only a tipping point. But the problem is bigger than that. People can't see that whether it's left or right politics, it's still just basically two sides of the same fucking coin playing with our minds and our lives. Yes, of course you need to stand up for yourself. Yes, of course you need to stand up for your own people, your own family, your friends and such. I totally agree with those viewpoints. If you have to protect yourself, you will do whatever you can to protect yourself and your loved ones. There's nothing to debate about here. These are pure, simple facts. And the problem here being, in Netherlands, people are really not allowed to protect themselves. You're not allowed to buy pepper spray. You're not allowed to have any kind of defensive stuff on yourself. And if you do, if you do have these things, you either are someone with bad intentions, like people carry knives and stuff around, or you just are aware that you might have to use it at some point, but then hopefully you have a really good lawyer and a video and witnesses and whatnot to be able to prove your innocence. And even then you still risk being charged with any potential crime. This was in my case when I had to protect myself. I used a non-lethal defensive weapon, but it's not legal. Also, it's not legal to buy a pepper spray. So how do you protect yourself? I kid you not, even the cops said, well, if you're on a boat, you have stuff, you can hit a guy with the fire extinguisher. Well, that will clearly just kill him, right? So that's exactly how they approach this. Double standards, hypocrisy, and clear psychological bullshit. And people keep falling for it, left and right. The leftists think that they can justify their so-called anti-fascism with killing people they don't agree with, that are no threat to anyone. Ideology is not a threat. Pulling a fucking trigger is a threat. Burning things beating people for whatever the reason. If it's not self-defense, that's a threat, that's terrorism, that's violence. Killing Charlie Kirk was an act of fucking terrorism. Beating people based on their skin color, race, religion, whatever the fuck it is, it's an act of terrorism. Yeah, it's everywhere, not just Brazil. Like, people think here in Europe that we're free. Americans are actually way more fucking free than we are here. It's purely, why do they have the right to bear arms? To protect yourself from the government. Read their goddamn constitution. We in Europe here are not free. We don't have freedom of speech. Look at UK. Anything you post on internet and they come after you like fucking Gestapo. You think it's not happening slowly, happening here in Europe? You're not allowed to speak really, freely. Because if you do, what do you get? Well, cancelled, mob attacks, ridicule, and all this kind of stuff. People don't dare to speak. That's why they get pissed off, and you see everything blowing up in places like demonstrations and protests. Because what? All that pent-up anger and emotions, they come out. And they come out because there's always the two sides meeting at that spot, clashing with each other. And in between, obviously the police, who are serving only one side of the story. And that's whoever fucking pays them. Palestine, look, also difficult fucking subject. I am all up for human rights. I am all up for ending conflicts of any kind. But the problem is also on both sides. Yes, Israel, fucking hell, like a lot of deception, a lot of hypocrisy, but so the shit comes from Hamas and the propaganda that they create. So why are we not condemning the fucking terrorism itself? Yes, free the people of Palestine. Freedom of all fucking war and terrorism. That's my statement on it. I used to wear the goddamn scarf, and now I don't. Because I'm clearly not ever again picking any fucking sides in any kind of war. Picking a side in a war is anti-humanist in itself. I'm all up for peace, humanity, respect, dialogue, open conversations, open communication, and freaking finding a solution, not pointing just at the problems. We need to find solutions. The biggest threat, other than us to ourselves, is facing us right through the screens every day, and nobody's even noticing what's going on. It's the AI. If you look at research, all the experts, what they're talking about, it's not about just the safeguards, the guardrails to prevent kids from committing suicide with the assistance of ChatGPT. Of course, there's also bad parenting involved here, definitely, because if a child was trusting the machine more than his own parents, I bet on the parental neglect here. But we are so goddamn close to getting literally just wiped out by the same creations that we make. And this is not a joke. It's not a paranoid thought. Read about it, research it. I've been reading and researching for the past at least 2 months. That's why I'm not so active at the moment on YouTube or other social media, because I'm trying to catch up with the stuff I was missing due to my own personal problems and trauma. But now I'm catching up, and I'm finally clear-headed enough to speak up, to not hold back anything, what I feel about the society, about the people, the jerk-offs over there, partying, not giving a goddamn shit about the consequences, what's coming for us. That's the problem. Even the people who claim that they are awake are goddamn fucking asleep. That's what it is. Thank you, Albertito. It's not whether it's impressive or not. I just want to speak the truth. What I believe is the truth. But I don't just believe it. I don't go based on opinions and going for one directive alone. What I do care about is like what's really happening to our future. What kind of legacy are we gonna leave for our children and for their children and so on? It's like, it doesn't matter when you ask Echo, when you ask what about Nazis? What about them? They're all over the planet, for fuck's sake. You think they ever lost the war? They lost the battle, but they're winning the fucking war. And they're doing it by the fact that they're manipulating the left and the right. That's how they do it. They've embedded themselves into the depths of the society that you guys don't even see. The media, the industrial complex, the military-industrial complex, the intelligence community, the police and stuff. How many of them are still left that are good? That's what you need to ask yourself. It's not about the label, fascist, left, right, Nazi. Good or not? Human or not? That's the question. Are you up for humanity? Are you up for questioning your own fucking beliefs and dropping your own ego to see the bigger picture? That we matter. That we all matter. That there is no division. Left, right, black, white. Who gives a shit, man? When we die, all of our bones are the same fucking color and all of our graves are kind of the same depth, if you want to go for a metaphorical speech. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, motherfuckers. We're all the same. We're all alike. We're all humans. Just because our bodies and our looks are different, when you go high up above, our souls connect on a different level. And we're all connected throughout the universe and the nature itself. I don't need to be a goddamn scientist to prove it to you because the rest of them did it already. Just stop fucking sleeping. All you have to do is look at yourself and see your own values. What do you really want to live for? That's it. Anyone can die for a fucking idea. Clearly. Charlie Kirk was a fucking hero. In this sense. I'm not sure if he expected to be killed. I wouldn't. Because he was basically just a normal guy talking his ass out. And he was willing to debate with people. Just that. And what? I'd like to meet anyone celebrating assassinations and deaths like that. Face to face. See how brave they really are. Yeah? Oh, we've lost it. We've lost the plot. And if we keep ignoring what's right in front of our goddamn faces, it's over. We've got maximum 10 fucking years to fix this shit. Maximum. And this is a very grim prediction that I've been holding back for a long time. I've had predictions before that I could not share with the public because we still didn't have the social media like back then like that. Or at least I didn't use it. But 2001, 2020, all of these things, the dynamic of the nature of the, not the nature, of the nature of the human society that we're creating right now, this dynamic is too predictable. It's not a premonition. It's a complete logical analysis based with intuition. Keeps proving itself true. And it's sad because I have kids and I'm afraid that they have no fucking future. And we only have one chance and one chance alone. And we have it now. Not tomorrow, not a month later, and a few parties after. No. The time's running fucking out. It's really makes me almost fucking cry to see what people are doing to themselves and to each other. The gaslighting, manipulations, men versus women, left versus right. It's just sheeple. Ignorant, radicalized sheeple beating the shit out of each other when all we have to do is listen. And listen not to respond and react, Just listen to learn something, listen to grow, and listen to respect others, regardless of how much you fucking disagree with them. And if you see that you're talking to a complete idiot, well, walk the fuck away. And if you look at the room and you think that everyone is stupid in that room, it's probably you. This is what people are failing now. Bubbles, social isolation. We think we're connecting. We think we're like, oh, goddamn, communities and whatnot. No, you're basically just looking for echo chambers. You're looking for someone to give validation when you need when you need to be called out on your bullshit. Good people, honest people will call you out on your bullshit, not to put you down, but to help you see a different perspective, to help you grow. And the people who constantly agree with everything you say probably don't have good intentions for you. Prove me wrong. Being human is easy. You just live and try to survive. Being a good human takes a goddamn fucking effort. And it's not hidden in nice words, nice polite actions. Bollocks. Real and honest people tell it like it is. And that's it. And the good people don't beat around the bush. Something has to give. Something really has to give. And it's just so freaking easy. Pull your head out of your ass, look around, get out more often, talk to other people, observe instead of just project. Listen instead of just talk. And when talking, at least make sure you're choosing your words wisely, because it's a choice. Everything's a choice. How we feel, what we do, what we say, what we think is a choice. Free will comes with discipline. And if we're gonna achieve any kind of level of freedom as a humanity and real fucking progress and evolution in the future, something has to give. And it's usually just our tiny little egos. Men and women measuring their own dicks all over the place. Just stop it. And when it comes to the most wannabe humanist community of themselves, the liberals, the LGBTQ and all this stuff, I mean, look at yourselves, people. No one gave a shit, really. Be whatever you want to be. Pink unicorn rainbows, flying pigs, whatever the fuck, you know? But when you start attacking other people just because they don't agree with you and they have different set of values, you yourself have turned into a goddamn fascist that you say you're fighting against. Booyah. I'm done for today. Love you all. Thanks for coming on the stream and leaving your comments. If you agree or disagree with me, look, this is the freedom of speech. Talk about it freely. Show me where I got it wrong. I want to learn, I want to grow. See y'all. Peace.